Hey, we're live on Facebook. It's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady. This is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, where I answer your questions about investing in tax liens and tax deeds. And I think Nicole is with us, and she's going to help me out by putting things in the comments for you. I'm doing this on a platform called StreamYard. It just makes it easier for me to do it on StreamYard. And then she is on Facebook, and she can put links in there for you and comments in there for you. But I can see your comments here on StreamYard that you put into Facebook. So let me know what your questions are. First of all, say hello. Let me know where you're from so that I can best answer your questions. Because if this is the first time you've been on my Facebook Live, you may not have heard me say this before, but if you have been on my Facebook Lives, you heard me say this every time. Tax lien and tax deed investing is totally different in every state, okay? So I need to know what state you're in before I can answer your question. All right. So let me know what obstacles you're facing, what challenges you're facing with tax liens or tax deed investing, and I will help you the best that I can. And Nicole, you could let me know if we had any questions that we got from YouTube, because for people that aren't on Facebook, these videos also go on to YouTube. So we get some questions from my YouTube channel as well. And some people just email me their questions. So if we've gotten any questions, or in our other, we've got a Facebook group, a private Facebook group that anybody can join. It's called Investing for Success. And sometimes we get questions there as well. So Nicole, if we don't have any questions, I'm going to start answering questions here. So guys, when you come on, just say hello. Let me know where you're from, or where you're what state you're investing in, so that I can best answer your questions. Just to give you a quick update of what's going on right now, there are a lot of tax sales going on, both online, live, both deeds and liens in different states. And right now, I'm very busy in New Jersey investing for the fund that I became a manager of this year. And if anybody has, the fund is for accredited investors who have at least $100,000 to invest. So if you would like yours truly to actually do the investing for you, and you're interested in being a member of this fund, and you are an accredited investor with $100,000 to invest, then let us know and we'll send you the information. Or you can just go to documents at taxlienfundlp.com, and one of the other managers who's on charge of onboarding people into the fund will send you the documents. My job is to go out and buy profitable liens, so that's not what I do. I'm actually going out there and buying the liens. And I recently, I hope everybody had a really nice Thanksgiving. I did. I met my husband in Las Vegas because he's working in the state of Washington and I'm here in Pennsylvania. And the easiest place for us to meet, because he's kind of in a remote area where there's not a major airport, and he can't go almost anywhere with a direct flight, except he can go to Las Vegas pretty cheap on a direct flight. So, and I can get there on a direct flight from here, actually from Newark Airport. So we spent Thanksgiving in Vegas, and neither one of us gamble, but there's a whole lot of other things to do there. And we went to an aquarium there. We went to the Bellagio, which is just a beautifully decorated high-end mall, but beautifully decorated for Christmas. And I would just want to say hello and acknowledge the people that are coming in now. Hello, Jay Reed from Washington, D.C. Nice to have you with us. Nothing going on right now, I think, in that area, but Washington, D.C. and Maryland have tax lien sales. Many of them are online. I don't think Washington D.C. is online though. I don't go around with all this information in my head. Aaron from Michigan, hello. You're new to tax lien investing, and Michigan is a deed state. So yeah, let me know if you have questions about that. And Russell, if I hadn't responded to you because were on another Facebook Live, you might have come on later at the end of my Facebook Live, and somehow I didn't get your message, so sorry about that. But go ahead and give it to me now, and I'll be happy to answer your question. Okay, let's see. Who else? Kenny from Indiana. All right, Indiana's a great state for liens. They also do deeds, but I love the commissioner sales in Indiana, which happen in the spring. It was very competitive this past year because of the real estate market has gone crazy. And so real estate investors are going into the tax sales and paying a lot of money to get these liens. But it is still worth it in Indiana. And Lawrence in Ohio, also new to tax liens. Yeah, Ohio's not the best state for liens. Some counties do liens in Ohio. Most of them do deeds. Some do liens, but they bundle everything up in one big bundle and sell it to big fund companies. So it is not the best. Yeah, and we are both on the same date. It is the 8th. Usually I do these on Tuesday, okay? But what happened is I had a tax sale yesterday. So that's why I moved this over to Wednesday. I do these Facebook Lives on the 2nd and 3rd Tuesday of, all right? And this week would have been the 2nd Tuesday of the month yesterday, but I had a tax sale. And I got one lien at 18%, a very nice lien. It was a lien on vacant land, which is one of the reasons why I was able to get it at 18%. It was at a sale where there were only 3 liens in the sale. This is a live sale that I went to. Even though there were only 3 liens in the sale, one of them wasn't really a good lien. It was on a small piece of vacant land that I didn't like. But this one was on a really nice building lot in a very nice neighborhood and had good valuation. And I was able to get it at 18% because it was a small sale and not all the big players came out. I only had 2 other bidders, and they both fought over the other lien, which was a residential property. Okay, and they paid a lot of money to get that lien, but I got mine at 18%. Okay, all I had to do was pay the face amount of the lien. They had to pay a lot of premium. The guy who actually won the bidding war for that one other property. So half the battle is picking the right sale to go to, right? That's number one. Number 2 is picking the right property to bid on. And I am going to go over some bidding strategies tonight. I have a wealth building webinar. And it's free to come to the live webinar. And if you're on my list, check your email because you've been getting emails about it. Another one will come out about an hour before the webinar, maybe even before that. Sometime this afternoon, you'll get another message from me with a link to register. You can register on Zoom for this webinar. It is free to come to it live. If you missed the live webinar and you want the replay, you have to be a subscriber to Wealth Building Webinars to get not only that replay, but the replay of all the other wealth building webinars we do. But you also get a $297 program when you become a member of Wealth Building Webinars, and it's $49 a month. So it's worth it, okay? And Nicole has just put the link in there for you to go ahead and register for tonight's webinar. Again, it's free to come to the live call. Okay. All right. So Russell, do you have a question for me? I see you're putting in a lot of stuff in the comments, but I don't see a question. 18% is 18% per annum. That is the maximum rate in New Jersey at the tax sale. So most of these tax lien sales are auctions. And some of them, they bid down the interest rate. And I'm going to go over bidding tonight when I do the webinar. But just to let you know, in New Jersey is the only state where they do both. They actually bid down the interest rate and then bid premium on properties. Most places only do one or the other. And Russell, did you tell me what state that you're in? And I can tell you what happens in that state. But in New Jersey, they start bidding down the interest rate. It's usually bid down to, in a lot of cases, as low as 0. And then they will pay premium to get the lien. Now, the reason why investors will do that in New Jersey is because once they have that lien, they can pay the subsequent taxes if the owner doesn't pay them, and get the maximum rate, which is 18% on all their subsequent tax payments. So they wind up getting a blended return, but it's well worth it. And that 18% is an annualized interest rate, but in New Jersey, they also give a penalty amount on the lien amount. And that's from 2 to 6% on the lien amount, depending on how big that lien is. Okay. Hey, Martin. Okay, what is the due diligence process on picking a lien or deed? That is a loaded question. That is a whole training, all right? What I do and what my students do is we use a software that I give to my members. It's called Tax Sale Finders, and it not only does it let us know what tax sales are coming up across the country, and we could filter it by which ones we're interested in. For instance, if I only want online deed sales, I could filter it for just the online deed sales. If I only want the live tax lien sales in a certain state or all over the country, I could filter it and get just the sales I'm interested in, right, that are coming up around the country. Then I can actually look at the properties that are in the sale and get reports on the properties, and I can filter the list before I start looking at the properties. And I get a property report. We get 50 property reports per month that we can look at. And it gives us the some of the things you want to look at when you're doing your due diligence. For liens, it's a little bit different for liens or deeds. For deeds, you have to do a little bit more. But for liens, what I look at is the assessed value. I actually look at the property on a map. I look at the assessed value. If I'm going live, I'll sometimes drive by the property and actually look at the property before I invest. Not always for lien sales, but after, if I buy it, then I'm going to go take pictures of the property. All right. But for deed sales, you always want to look at the property first. Okay. But in the beginning, what you want to do is look at it on a map, get the assessed value, look at things like what it was sold for last, what the market value is, if there is a loan on the property. These property reports that we get at Tax Sale Finders tell us that. We also want to know if there's any environmental problems on the property or nearby, and if it's a flood risk or in a flood plain. And our property reports will tell us that. So that's the beginning of the due diligence. Now, I coach people on how to do it. If you need somebody to take you by the hand and coach you through that, that is something that I do. If you're interested in that and you have money to invest, then you could fill out the form at taxlienlady.com/mentoring-application if you want to find out more about the coaching. Okay. I don't do it for free. So, and it's not worth it unless you have money to invest. You should have at least between $5,000 and $10,000 at least to invest in tax liens, especially if they're online, and more for deeds. And then and then coaching is worth it for you. Otherwise, if you don't have that much to invest, I suggest if you have less than $10,000 to start investing, but you need help and you want some coaching, I do a group coaching call once a month for members of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. And they also get access to Tax Sale Finders. Plus, all of the workshops that I do, they get so much training. So that's one way you could get help from me, extra tools and resources from me, a lot of training from me. The recording of the call that I'm going to do tonight, plus I do a group coaching call once a month also. And that is in the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator membership, which is $197 a month. And Nicole can put the link in there for that for you. Okay, Russell, you're in California. You know, California is a deed state. They don't do liens in California. So you're probably, if you're in California, you're probably going to do the online sales in other states, unless you have another state that you like to go to. Okay, Martin, you're welcome. Yeah, that's just in a nutshell, right? If you want the whole spiel, I do a whole course on it, all right, a whole module on it. On all of the Done With You trainings that I do. All right, and if you're interested in a Done With You training, I have one for Indiana, for the Indiana Commissioner Sales. I have one for Arizona, which is coming up. Arizona's coming up, by the way. And I have one for Maryland. Okay, and those Done With You trainings they're all recorded because we just did them this past year, and I might do some live calls to update them, but they are, each one of those trainings have 4 to 6 modules in them. I believe there are 4 modules. They're $497 each. And if you just let us know what state you're interested in, those are specific trainings for specific states, and full-blown trainings of me actually going through with you while the tax sales go, not with you, but with the people that were in the live training while the tax sales are going on, how to register, how to bid, what to do. For the Indiana Commissioner Sales, I even had an attorney from Indiana talk about that. You know, all the things that you need to do for those sales. All right, and Nicole has put in a link for the membership, but if you're interested in those Done With You trainings, and if you go on my website, taxlienlady.com, there is a link at the top for Done With You trainings that I think there's a drop-down box where you could see what the different, there's 3 different trainings. I believe there's only 3, Nicole. Let me know if I'm missing one, but I know we have Arizona, we have Indiana, and we have Maryland. Okay. Do you have to pay for a title search once you get a lien or deed? I don't do a title search for liens until it's time to foreclose. And I just let the attorney do that that's doing the foreclosure. Okay. That's very state specific, Martin. That's very state specific. And let's see, Martin, remind me what state you're in. And maybe I can answer your question a little bit better. Okay, Nicole, you see Indiana and Maryland on the main website, but not Arizona. Yeah, we'll have to put Arizona there, but I know we did Arizona too. So if any of you guys are interested in trainings for those specific states, let me know. The Indiana Commissioner Sales will be coming up like starting March. The Arizona sales will be going on in January. And Maryland will start probably in May. How often do I foreclose on a property? Well, let me tell you, I have not foreclosed on a property. I've started foreclosure on a couple of properties, but they always redeem at some point during foreclosure. I've started foreclosure on a few properties and they always redeem. Okay, I am in foreclosure now on one that might not redeem, and I might actually get it because it's a burnt out property that's been vandalized. It doesn't have any electric. It had a fire. So I might get that one. But let me tell you, I've had two properties that were burnt out properties. And one of them I started foreclosure on and redeemed. That's what happens in New Jersey a lot of times, okay? These are in New Jersey. And Florida too. Not burnt out properties, but I have started foreclosure on a few properties in Florida. The fund has a few in foreclosure right now. Well, you don't actually foreclose in Florida. What you do in Florida is you apply for it to go into a deed sale. And so those, we've done the TDAs, tax deed application on, I think 5 properties in Florida. So usually though, they will redeem at some point. What happens is they go into a tax deed sale, and if nobody else bids on them, then you get the property. But of course, right now, you're going to get redeemed. Either you'll get redeemed before it actually goes to the deed sale, or somebody will bid on it in the deed sale, and you're going to get redeemed. Okay. Yeah. By the way, just to let you know, Aaron, tax lien investing is not a way to get the property. Whatever you've heard is not right, because 99% of properties, tax lien properties, are going to redeem across the country. That's the average. All right. So if you want a property, if you want to buy property, tax liens are not the way to go. You need more money but you need to concentrate on redeemable, and even redeemable deeds get redeemed a lot more than you think. So if you really want properties, then tax deed sales are the way to go, but you need more money for that, because you're actually buying the property at the sale, and the price of the property gets bid up. The price of the deed gets bid up. And right now is such a tight real estate market, a competitive real estate market, where investors are having a hard time buying properties. Even bank-owned properties, they're having a hard time getting them. So they're going into the deed sales and paying a lot of money in the deed sales to get these properties. Okay. Still, there are ways that you can pick the right sales and pick the right properties to bid on if you want to be successful. And that's what we'll talk about tonight in the Wealth Building webinar. All right, any other questions you guys want me to answer? Did I miss anything, Nicole? Did I miss any questions? And Martin, let me look and see if I could find what state that you told me you're in, so maybe I can answer your question a little better. Yeah, I don't see that. So Martin, if you tell me what state you're in or investing in, I can answer your last question. Oh, Texas. When you buy a property in Texas, Texas is a little different, okay? It is a redeemable deed state, but you're actually purchasing the property at the sale. It's not like the other redeemable deed states where you don't get the property until the redemption period's over. In Texas, you're actually the owner of the property, but the previous owner has a right of redemption. So in Texas, I would do a title search before bidding on a property. Here's the thing. You don't want to pay a title company to do a title search, because you don't need title insurance. They won't give it to you anyway. So what you want to do is search the title yourself and find out what other liens and deeds are on there. Okay. David's asking, what is the best way to see if there are outstanding liens on a property? And again, that depends on whether you're going to an online or live sale. And David, let me know what state you're in. Texas live sales. Yeah, most of the sales are live in Texas. So what's the best way to see if there are outstanding liens on a property? Well, most of the sales in Texas are conducted by attorneys, by law firms. And they usually have that information. So you would have to check with them. In other states where it's not done by a law firm, you would check with, sometimes like the county has a file on it, but you would check in the records. And Martin is also asking, how do you search the title? And that's how you would find out about liens. You would search the title. You'd go to the county hall of records, but you don't look up the address of the property. You have to look up the owner's name in the county hall of records, and you get somebody there to help you. And when you go there, you'll see people searching titles for the title company. They are called title absconders. And you could pay them, very little consideration to do it for you. Okay, they're the ones who do the work for the title companies. What areas have online sales? Well, what sales are you looking for, Aaron? Lien, deed, redeemable deed? Which type of sales? And Lawrence asked, how long do you see this hot market continuing? I don't know. There's a lot of people that say it's going to be a crash, but I will tell you what. Save this date, 2 dates, January 5th and 6th. Save the dates. I am going to have my second annual Investing for Success Wealth Building Conference, online virtual conference on those dates, the 5th and the 6th. One of the experts that I am going to have is going to talk about that, what's happening to the market. And when the real estate market crashes, that's when things are going to change, right? And that's when the hot market is going to change. And he is going to talk about what's happening in the real estate market. Particularly, he is an investor in apartment buildings and multifamily buildings. So he's going to talk about that market and what he sees happening in that and what the other experts see happening in the real estate market. January 5th and 6th. He'll be talking, I think, on January 5th. The first day, January 5th, this whole conference is about having peace of mind with your money, your investments, and your retirement. Okay. The first day is on money management, money mindset, how to manage your money. And he's going to talk about that, I believe, on the first day. The second day, we're going to have some investment opportunities for you. The second day is on alternative investment opportunities, including tax liens, right? All right. All right, so Aaron, you want to know about lien sales, what lien sales are online. Well, the states that have online lien sales, I don't know if I'm going to hit all of them, just the ones that I have in my head right now: New Jersey, Indiana, Arizona, Florida, Colorado, Missouri. Missouri only has one county, I think, that was online. I don't know if they have more because of COVID. Mississippi, Louisiana. There's more now than there used to be. And I have a whole course on buying tax liens online that I update every year, sometimes more than that. I have whole courses on that. I have a buying tax liens online course. And we just did an update to that for 2020. We did a workshop. And guess what? If you're a member of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, you get access to all the workshops for free. We just did a workshop for 2021. And there's 2 ways to get that workshop. You can become a member and get all the workshops, or you could just purchase that workshop for $197 and get 30 days, a 30-day trial to the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. So Nicole, you could put the link in there for that workshop. Yeah, it's a recorded workshop. All right. So again, Martin, you would go to the County Hall of Records and search the owner, all the owners of the properties by name in the records, in the county records. And I think I answered all the questions. Did I miss anything? Nicole, let me know if I missed anything. If you asked a question and I missed it, go ahead and type it in again into the comments, and I will see it here on StreamYard. Sometimes I don't see them. There's two ways I could miss your question. One is that you type it in and then other people type their questions, and I have a lot of questions and I can only, they kind of, keep going down and I can only see so many of them at one time. So I might miss it. Now Nicole's here to help me so that I don't miss it, but sometimes that happens. And the other thing is if you come on at the end when I'm ending, you might have your question in there too late. So if you know you have a question, put it in there now. Don't wait until I say, okay, we're wrapping up. All right. Aaron asked, how long does it take you to prepare for a tax sale? Well, I'll tell you what, Aaron, I was in Las Vegas for Thanksgiving, right? I came home on Tuesday morning. I actually took a red eye. I left Wednesday night, left Las Vegas, but that was actually early Tuesday morning in the wee hours of the morning here on the East Coast. But I got back Tuesday morning and the next day I had a tax sale. But I do have, for the fund, I have a team that helps me do the analysis. And I also use tax sale finders, which makes it go really quick. So I really only need a couple of hours, okay, to get ready for a tax lien sale, a little more for a deed sale, okay? And also depending on how big it is. I usually target small tax sales and out of the way places. One of my secrets, two of my secrets I just told you. Okay. All right, and Nicole has put a couple of links in there for you. She's put one in for the Buying Tax Liens online course and one in for the workshop that we just did. The workshop is good if you're interested in what's going on in the fall, which are kind of finishing up now in December. But we did that workshop, in November when all the fall sales were going on. If you're interested in what goes on the rest of the year, then you're going to need the whole course because that's going to cover all the online states. The workshop covered the ones that are going on now. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for anybody that has questions, and then we're going to wrap up. Don't forget to join me tonight. It's free to come live to the Wealth Building webinar tonight at 7:30 Eastern time. And Nicole did put the link in the chat, in the comments. But Nicole, put it in there again for everybody, the link to register for tonight's webinar. And also put in there again the link to find out more about the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, about the membership to the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. It is so worth it. I've had people that have been a member for years, and I keep adding value to it. So the membership has increased because I keep adding value and giving more stuff. Like right now, there's so many courses in there, workshops, plus you get access to tax sale finders and a group coaching call with me every month. Plus you get wealth building webinars as well, the recordings of the wealth building webinars. All right, so Nicole has put in the link to register for tonight's webinar. And then she put that in there again for you. And then she just put in the membership link to find out more about that. All right. It just gives you a breakdown of this is what you get. And there's the big button that's there to join is for the yearly. If you join for the year, you get 2 months free. So the big button is for the yearly membership. Okay. You wind up getting 2 months for free when you do the yearly membership. If you don't want to do it for the year, you just want to do it monthly, underneath that, there's a link for the monthly subscription. So click on that link if you want the monthly subscription. All right. Last call for questions, guys. Last call for questions. I love to answer your questions. Or if you guys, if I answered your question and you still have, a question about it, if I didn't answer it adequately for you, ask it to me again in another way. All right. Okay. It looks like I've answered everybody's question, and nobody has any more questions. Okay. All right, Nicole. I just want to check with you and make sure I didn't miss anything. And if I didn't miss anything, we'll wrap up. And I will see everybody next Tuesday. You know what? I'm going to check the date next Tuesday. I just want to make sure I don't have another tax sale next Tuesday. Actually, no, I have a tax sale Monday, not Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, so we're on for next Tuesday. Our live, our Facebook Live will be next Tuesday. So I will see you guys then. And I hope you can make it tonight. And I think we've answered all the questions. So if you missed it, I see that a couple people just came on now. This will be here on Facebook. We'll also put the replay on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch the recording there. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your questions. I hope to see you next Tuesday, same time, and same place. And I also hope to see you on tonight's webinar. Bye.